So good morning on this Thursday morning. My name is Tara Healey, and I'm the founder and director of Point 32 Health's mindfulness program. And really delighted, as always, to be with you on Thursday mornings. Um, for anybody that's new, a very warm and special welcome. These practices are fully guided. They're about 12 minutes in length. We save a little bit of time at the end, usually 10 minutes or so, for Q&A, but also sharing ideas, books, resources, apps, anything that you've come across that has been important to you or valuable in terms of practice. And I also want to just put a plug in for a session that I'm doing today from 12 to 12:30. And it's called Riding the Waves of Change, but it is really about the times we're in globally, and even more specifically, the impending presidential election and the kind of divisiveness and fear and anxiety and uncertainty that this election has brought forth in us. And also, with the backdrop being a lot of global unrest. And so I'm going to be doing that again from 12 to 12:30, and it's at point32health.org/living well at home. And you'll see the registration for that there. And I'll put that in the chat as well at the end. All right. Let's go ahead and move into our practice. So you can do this seated or standing, whatever feels like it's going to serve you best this morning, even lying down. But if you're tired, I would say probably not to lie down, but either seated or standing are, fine postures. And take a moment to just allow your body and mind to arrive, to settle in. And as you're holding your posture, you want to do so in a way that is not too loose and not too tight, essentially engaged, and yet easeful to the degree that you can. Your eyes can be open or closed. So if you are keeping the eyes open, though, I would gaze downward just a little bit to help remove any peripheral distraction. So go ahead and make any micro movements and adjustments so that you feel supported. And take a couple deep breaths. I typically always do this when I'm settling in, and it's a way to settle surface tension from the activity of your day so far. So deep breath in through the nose and a longer exhalation through the mouth. And just go ahead and do 2 of those. See if you can surrender your weight into the support of the ground below, feeling held. And knowing that at this moment you've chosen this time for yourself, there is nowhere else to be and nothing else to do. Letting go of all that has happened so far this morning and releasing anticipation of what is next. And bringing the mind and the body together. Noticing physical expression in your body, so pulsing, vibration, tingling, as if you're a scientist, but you're also the subject. So you're entering with a receptive, curious attitude in your mind. And the sensations or emotions that you feel likely will fall into a category of pleasant, unpleasant, or neither one of those, more neutral. So receiving whatever is being offered. And when things feel somewhat unpleasant, the good news is that they will change. And when things are feeling pleasant in the body, the news is that that too will change. And so we start to relate to both of those with greater balance and equanimity. by allowing them. And in a way, those things that are pleasant, it all can almost enhance that sense of pleasantness. And with the things that are unpleasant, we're starting to cultivate a sense of balance, starting to drop the resistance to what has arisen because it is there. Um, so just really through practice, seeing that, especially the unpleasant, they have a life, they move, they transform, they don't stay the same. And there's a lot of freedom in that, and you can directly experience it by being with a cramp or an itch or another body sensation. And so, in a way, you're moving toward with your awareness, mindfulness. So, receiving sensations in your body, perhaps aware of the clothes touching the skin, or if you're seated or standing, the points of contact along the back of the body, including the soles of the feet. So, whole body awareness, receptive attitude in the mind. And let's take a moment to expand awareness to include sound that may be occurring in the room or outside of the room. And just hearing. And releasing that, allowing sound, of course, to come and go as it will in your background. But let's begin to find an anchor for the wandering mind, remembering that we're not trying to stop thought, but we're just simply, when we're formally practicing, just seeing when a thought has slipped in, unnoticed and becomes noticed. We're just going to release it gently. Soften your body. There's always a subtle contraction with thought that tends to go unnoticed. So again, body awareness, softening, and then returning to something to help stabilize the wandering mind, something you can return to. Now, that could be breath sensation. Anywhere in the body you notice it, you track the sensation of the inhalation and track the sensation of the exhalation. It could be a narrow focus of the nostrils, could be a bigger focus of the chest or belly, even the carriage of the body moving and the actual feeling of that rather than thinking about it. And if breath is challenging this morning, you could take your hands and touch them together. You could rest them on your thighs, the palms on your thighs. Or if there's another body sensation that's easy for you to connect in with and use as an anchor, as a stabilizer, you can go ahead and do that. And the other alternative is sound. So if there's a consistent sound in your background, you can just be tracking that, tracking that, tracking that. And each time a thought slips in, not a problem, soften, release the narrative, return over and over again. And to know, however, you're breathing is perfectly fine. You don't have to create a special breath if you're using breath. So I'll be silent for the next few minutes as you find an anchor and begin practice. Noticing where your mind is in this moment, and just gently letting go of the narrative, allowing the body to soften yet maintain an engagement. Just gently, rather than tugging yourself back, just gently escort your attention, your awareness back to your anchor. And again, noticing where your mind is in this moment, and just simply releasing the memory or the planning, the worry, the joy. Soften your body and return. And as we bring this meditation to a close, I'll ask you to release the anchor you're using, and I'm going to read a poem, and you can see if you can track, just move the attention and the focus concentration you've been cultivating in the last 15 minutes or so to now track the words. This is called Healing Happens. The unseen, unloved, unconscious aspects of my being let themselves be glimpsed in dreams and drive my behavior from behind the scenes. They rise into the light only when the time is right. Learning to stay still and not react when I am filled with memories or moods has been a challenge and a choice. Slowly, these inner knots are letting go. Slowly, old conditioning dissolves to leave me freer than before. The mystery calls me forward, and healing happens even when I can't say for certain what is healed. And that's Dana Fald's Breath of Joy. So taking a moment, if the eyes were closed or gazed downward, to just reorient to the room that you're in. Take a little bit of a look around, maybe do a little bit of a stretch. And as you're doing that, think about any, comments or questions. And I'm going to put the website. So point32health.org/living well at home. We'll have the info on the session that I'm doing today at noon. So thoughts, questions, and or sharing resources, books or apps, and anything, podcast that you've come across recently that you want to share, please do that. I am sorry. You can't see anything in the chat. Hold on. Sorry about that. How's that? Let me know if you can see now, everyone. Okay, good. So Teresa, this afternoon from 12 to 12:30, I'm doing a session called Riding the Waves of Change, about all of the global unrest and really about the election that's coming up. The poem that I just read is called Healing Happens. So sorry I did not realize that I had not clicked everyone on the drop-down menu. When it's the meeting format on Wednesdays, you don't have to do that, but you do on Thursdays. You'd think I'd know by now. Yeah, yes, Heather, there will be, I'll get more detail on that. But generally, we record and then post these sessions to our YouTube page. So I'll definitely let everybody know. It might even say, if you go to the website, it might even say where the recording will be. So it's point32health.org/livingwellathome.org. So that's, or living well at home. You don't have to add the .org. It's already there in the beginning. So that's where these sessions come from. It's the same, the same website. So I'm pretty sure it'll be on our YouTube page, but I would double check. Meditation Restore Bill. Oh, Colleen, yeah, I think that one of the silver linings of the pandemic, and it was such a horrific time, but that it actually opened up more possibilities for connection. And I just keep thinking, especially in the global times we're in, to be able to have a community that you can join and practice with and just be together means a lot. Oh, the entire book of Dane is really good. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Um, I cannot I literally, I probably have 3 or 4 of her books, but I can't recommend her enough as an author. I mean, she's book title Breath of Joy. She is quite I know I've said this, but she's like a modern day Rumi or Hafiz, some of those ancient poets. And anything that I've read about her process is that it started to come to her. These words started to come to her. And the other thing, and I'll read one of these next time, but one of my teachers, Joseph Goldstein, has started writing poetry very recently. And also, he felt like it started bubbling up in him. And so I think, this kind of trusting the process, trusting ourselves when things like who knows what's going to start coming to us. Um, and to be awake to all of that. I mean, I think there are some, authors and artists and writers and poets who didn't even start till later in their lives, didn't start their own creative process until later. Um, so one never knows, right? Is anybody on the call planning to join at noon? You could just put it in the chat. If you, great, nice. Oh, good, good. Yeah, I just when we were talking about putting this together, because it kind of all happened pretty quickly. We were like, let's do something. Um, and I feel like we need each other, I great, okay. Oh, thank you, Susan. Uh, we definitely need to be in community. One of the things that I was going to also say, and I'll say this afternoon, but I think that, to make a plan for yourself, like election day or the day after or the day after that, because who knows when we'll know, but to reach out to a friend or 2 or 3 and have a Zoom meeting, just have that already planned. Um, I'll be driving, but definitely. The so I'm gonna say I don't know if anybody has the link handy. Uh, so you can take a picture with your phone. If you go to www.point32health.org and then just / living well at home, that is the site. And I had copied it um, right directly from and went to paste it earlier in our session and it didn't paste. So, but once I start, I don't want to like close out and go looking for it again. So sorry about that. But um, and feel free to share it. It's available to all. I made a plan to be with my sister and her husband in Mystic uh, for the day of the election and the day after the election. I feel like there's something important about making sure you feel connected in. So regardless of where you fall on the political spectrum, um, this is a time of great uncertainty and upheaval, and we need each other. And, the other thing I've been thinking a lot about too is just like our shared humanity and, and also kindness. And I was talking to a friend the other day, and I'll end with this quote where the Dalai Lama said, "Be kind whenever possible, dot, dot, it's always possible." And I think in like most instances that's true. And I feel like one of the things this practice helps us do is to um, really see clearly our intentions and our motivations behind our words. And I think about, when I drive up my street, there are signs for Democrats and there are signs for Republicans, and I have neighbors that I really love who are in a very different voting very different than I'll vote. And um, when I was talking to one of them yesterday, and just I see our shared humanity, our desire to, uh, we have a shared desire to be safe, to feel protected, to be happy, to do things for other people. Like we share this. These are things that are shared by us, and that just helps me. Peace to all who plan to squeeze the world. Thanks, Sandy. Well, on that note, we're at 9:01. So thank you to this community. And I will see you later. Okay, bye.